This week's Parsha, Vayishlach, takes up the story of Jacob, that's Yaakov's encounter with his brother Esav, who basically wanted to kill him because he stole the blessings. And it depicts how Yaakov sent forth messengers with a specific message. And that is, the message was that, thus says your brother Yaakov, I have dwelled with Lavan, and I've delayed until now. There's a famous statement by Rashi on the words, he quotes the sages, on the words, Im Lavan Garti, I sojourned with Lavan. Then the rabbis add, the Taryag Mitzvah Shomarti, and I kept the 613 commandments, and I did not learn from his evil ways. That means to say that that was sort of a message that was supposed to be delivered. It wasn't the overt message, but somehow or other to get through this point. Yaakov wanted Esav to know that all the time he had stayed with the wicked Lavan, he had kept the commandments, and he had not learned from his wicked ways. And the question is, of what significance is this? Why would this propitiate Esav? How would this be helpful? In answering this question, Rabbi Israel Chait, gave a very interesting analysis of the problem of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a phenomenon that is still with us to this day, and so many philosophers have written about it. And he raised the question, what is the attitude of the great sages of the Talmud? And he quoted a statement that says that the Torah was given at Mount Sinai. In Hebrew, that's Sinai. And the rabbis say that the word Sinai is connected to the word Sinah, because from there, hatred, Sinah, went forth to the entire world. Which is to say that according to the rabbis, a major cause of anti-Semitism is the fact that God chose the Jews and gave them the Torah. And we can see how much animosity this has caused. First along came Christianity and claimed that they're the chosen ones, that God sort of supersession, revoked the original Torah. And the same is true with Islam. Both religions acknowledge that God gave the Torah to the Jews, but because of various reasons, usually it's because of the sin of the Jews, God then changed his mind and gave another testament, in spite of the fact that the Torah says that the Torah is eternal and shall never be changed. The point being, however, that if that is the case, if the cause, a prime cause of the hatred is the fact that the Jews were singled out by God for the Torah, so why would Yaakov, who's concerned about Esav, who seemingly hates him because of the Torah, why would he communicate to him that through all those years he kept the Torah? And the answer that Rabbi Chait gave is very significant. And he said, while it is true the underlying cause of the animosity is a certain type of jealousy, that we have the Torah, still in all, there's another element in man, and that is he feels a certain guilt. Before he can lash out and act on his hatred, he has to have some kind of justification. And he said that when the Jews abandon the Torah, it removes that element of justification from the Gentile. He feels much freer to oppress the Jews because they're not keeping the Torah that God gave them. And therefore, Jacob wanted to communicate to Esav at this point in time that in spite of all the temptation, in spite of all of my exposure to the ways of Lavan, I retain my Jewishness. I did not learn from his evil ways. That's a message for us today. Ultimately, Yaakov was successful in overturning the hatred. Many Jews feel afraid to assert their Jewishness, and they feel that in order to get respect and perhaps the love of the Gentile, they need to show that like everybody else, and they start to abandon their Judaism. But if a person has an in-depth understanding, it's just the opposite. There's a begrudging respect that a Gentile will notice that the Jew is steadfast, that in spite of the unpopularity, he sticks to his faith, he keeps the Torah. At first he may not acknowledge it, but deep down he has tremendous respect for that. A Jew must always be proud of his Jewishness.